Let's combat and fight back with maltracks. The war of the minds, they want control of the masses. And Common Core, they dumb us down in the classes. Without knowledge, we can't gain access. Build with the elders, take notes and write classes. We keep whining on the block, how it's gonna stop? Let's start supporting our own, make their supply drop. We buy stocks, then we buy blocks. Cause we know the truth and we tuned in to Dr. Maya.
A BB Toomey, a BB Fahodier, a BB Wan. Peace to all of my thinkers, truth speakers, and truth seekers. Welcome to another Truth to Power Talk with your sister, Dr. Whyt. And thank you for joining another powerful discussion. And today, you know, I have another powerful guest with me, but he's no guest. He's family and he's no stranger to the community. Peace and black power to you, Baba Amin. How are you doing tonight, Baba?
Peace and black power, Dr. Whyt. I was rocking to the theme song. You know what I'm saying? I was rocking to the thing. I'm like, ooh, let it ride, let it ride. But I know we got some business to take care of. I'm honored to be here.
Look, Bobby, today I'm rocking a shield. I thought you were going to put
it.
The last time you were rocking. You got other stuff. Okay,
I got my Huru Academy on. But yeah, I see you got to don't make me go change shirts.
So I'm rocking. Look, the last time Baba was on Family, he was rocking the UACI. Look at this. I'm gonna back up.
Yeah.
UACI UACI Summer STEM Camp Shield. And today I'm rocking, and I'm rocking it, family, because right now registration is open. Okay. Registration is open. You can head on right over to uhuruacademy.com. As soon as you get over here, and I'm going to share my screen with your family. Hold on, because I like to give you visuals, because you'll be calling Baba, calling me. How do I get to the? How do I get to it? How do I get to it?
They already calling too. And
That's right.
They already jumping on.
Come on. So family, you go to uhuruacademy.com. When you get there, go to UA Online, scroll down, click UACI STEM program. All right. And when you click the program, look, here's the website. The website pops up. So here's some information about the website. Then we have the UACI STEM camp dates and schedule. All right. And here's the registration form. You register, pay your money, and that is it. Family, I'm telling you, we have limited slots.
That's right.
We have 30 slots. All right. And so I'm telling you, you're going to want to give your child this experience. This is one of the first completely African-centered STEM program. Baba Amin and I have developed a framework for African-centered STEM education. And this is the first practical implementation of that framework. All right. And shout out to the students and to the parents for making this happen. And so we developed this framework, and it will be available. We'll find out on April the 15th if the American Society for Engineering Education accepted the paper. They accepted the abstract. They wanted us to change the title. We changed the title, sent that, resubmitted it. So we'll know between now and Monday if it has been accepted. I know it's been accepted. I know, Bob, I'm already calling it. Know that it's been accepted. And family, that means that this framework that he and I have developed now is accessible to the community. So you can just get the paper, look at our framework, and build and create your own African-centered STEM education program using this framework. All right. And so that I'm telling you all what we're doing. This is history in the making. I'm telling you right now, what Baba Amin and I are doing, this is history. No one has created an African-centered STEM framework and made it available to the community. Do people teach, STEM from an African-centered perspective? Absolutely. People are doing that. But to give the community a framework that you can use to develop your own, that hasn't happened. That hasn't happened yet. And so, Baba, brother, I'm just saying to you, salute. I thank you for your contribution, your wisdom, your time, your energy, because I relied on you a lot. I said, Baba, come on now. What about this African-centered piece? What about this? I was tight with the STEM, but I needed you with that African-centered piece, and you brought that, and I appreciate that, Baba.
Appreciate that. I appreciate you. It's an honor being a part of it. Conscious ingenuity and the Uhuru Academy is a match made in heaven.
Yes.
From your leadership, my leadership, I think we work very well together.
Absolutely.
The great interns you have, the teachers I have, the students and families that jumped on, and shout out to the family out there, because it wouldn't have gotten done without the community. So it only makes sense to build a framework for the community. And we still going, and we're still building and adding to that framework, family. So that's why we're going to have another camp and another camp. And every time you bring your children, the remix, we're going to remix it every time.
Absolutely.
And so it's an honor to be a part of it. It's an honor to be a part of this work, man. Let's get it in.
Let's get it in. Family, take a moment out to thumb up this video. Thumb it up, thumb it up, thumb it up. I know that there are people watching on multiple platforms. Some people on Baba Amin's Facebook and YouTube page. Some people's on Dr. Whyt Facebook and YouTube page. Wherever you are, thumb it up, thumb it up, thumb up this video. Also share this video. Let's get some more people in these virtual seats. I know I'm going out of my usual time frame, right? I'm usually on in the evening. It's 3:45. Some people are still at work, but still share the video, family. Share it, share it. Go on IG, Twitter, Facebook, say, look, Doc and Baba are live. And anytime he and I get together, we have a good time, right? While providing the community with good and solid information. Also, family, subscribe to our YouTube channels. Be sure to head on over to the Uhuru Academy YouTube channel, the Dr. Whyt Edward Ma'at YouTube channel. Subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that whenever we go live, you receive a notification. I want to salute the family in the building from IG. I see my IG family in the building. Peace and love to my IG family. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do me a favor, IG family. Make sure that you inbox people this live video. Tell them to come on and join, okay? And they can watch directly from IG. Baba, let's jump into the topic at hand. O.J. Simpson. So O.J. Simpson passed yesterday. It was all over social media.
Right.
He died at the age of 76. They said he was battling cancer. And a lot of people didn't know, Baba. People were kind of, because usually you hear about celebrity health, but his family kept that on a hush because no one knew that he was, battling cancer. So I want to begin by just expressing my condolences to his family and everybody who was impacted by his transition. But Bobby, let me tell you one thing I noticed. So after they announced that, O.J. Simpson, passed, or he died at 76, people started putting, videos everywhere. So you saw articles being published and circulating online. People started circulating, of course, videos, some people defending O.J., some people slandering O.J. And of course, they brought up his infamous trial that happened, I think, in 1995. I believe that I know he was accused of the murder of his wife, Nicole, and her lover. Yeah, her lover. What was her name? Ann Nicole?
No, she was Nicole Brown Simpson.
Nicole Brown Simpson. And then her lover, his name was Ron, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Ron Goldman or something like that.
Yeah, Ron Goldman or something. Yeah. And so he was accused of brutally, murdering those two individuals. So that surfaced, Baba. Like I'm on TikTok now and they're showing clips of the OJ case. I mean, when the infamous line by what's my boy Johnny Cochran? Johnny Cochran. If it don't fit, you must have quit. And so that clip was floating around, and then on TikTok you see the infamous video of his white Bronco trying to flee from the police. And I ain't gonna lie, Baba. In 1994, we're watching this. I'm a teenager at the time, and we're like, go, because the Bronco. I mean, it was crazy. It was like watching a movie, at that particular time. Even though I know this was his life, and in his life, he was on trial, but the white Bronco. People are circulating that video again. Showing the white Bronco, fleeing from the police, speeding up the highway.
Yes.
Exactly. Allegedly, and
the slowest, most organized police chase in history.
Was it? Oh my gosh, was it, Baba? And so all of this stuff is resurfacing. But what I did notice was, and I know I titled this "White America Celebrates the Death of O.J." But I did see a lot. And I don't want to say white America, right? Let's make it a blanket statement. But I did see a lot of white folks like good riddance.
Right.
They were like good riddance. He's a murderer. He's this. And then even Mark Lamont Hill, Baba, he came out with a video. O.J. Simpson is a murderer. He's a lying murderer. And, he's not a martyr. So black people don't make him, a martyr. So even Mark Lamont Hill, started, bashing him and, and saying some things about him. So I'm gonna land my plane right here, Baba. But
Yeah.
what were your thoughts when you heard that O.J. Simpson passed, and then the reaction from the public? Like, what are your thoughts about those things?
I found out about it yesterday, and my initial thoughts were just, rest in peace. He lived his life, 76 years old. They say he was surrounded by family, and so he was able to get away from the noise in his final days. It was not, like you said, it wasn't in the public eye or anything like that. And I'm always of the feeling, Dr. Mott, that a lot of stuff ain't none of our business, and we get way too vested in a lot of things that go on in celebrity land. I am one of those. I was at a dinner last night, and a sister at the table, we brought up that he passed away, and a sister at the table looked at me and say, "Well, tell the truth. Don't you know he did it, right? You know he did it, right?" And I said, "Nope, I don't know he did it, and you don't either. This is a thing that you either believe or don't believe. It's not something that anyone knows. The only people who know is O.J. Simpson, Nicole Brown Simpson, and Ronald Goldman, the people who got killed. They know who did it. We don't know who did it. What we were privy to was a trial that allowed us to formulate an opinion. And yes, I was one of them black people that was rooting for him in the Bronco. Yes, I was one of those black people who said he wasn't guilty, And yes, I'm one of them black people that'll go to my grave never admitting that he was. All right. And I also have the attitude that if he was, okay, we got away with one. All right. There's so many white OJs walking around here right now. There's so many. The man who killed, I don't even like to say his name, the piece of trash that killed Trayvon Martin. He a white OJ. Everybody know he did it, and he's walking around. And yes, I'm going to clap when he go. I'm not going to clap if he goes to prostate cancer, because that's not how I want him to go. So I'm not going to say good riddance, because if he goes from prostate cancer, we didn't do our job. Right. And so there are a lot of white OJs. Every time I see that old postcard with a black man hanging from a tree, and it's a whole village of white people standing under there smiling, those are OJs. They got away with it. Emmett Till's murder, OJs. They got away with it. Medgar Evers murderers, white OJs. They got away with it. So if he got away with it, my heart ain't really broke for that. I hate to see anyone get hurt. You know what I'm saying? But the American injustice system is, the prison is full of people who didn't do it, and the streets are full of people who did.
Well, Baba, you have a great point. I mean, you really have a great point. I too, as a teenager, I was rooting for him. And like you said, I mean, think about this. We just saw the beating of Rodney King and the officers. That was fresh. The officers got off. And so, when OJ happened, like, people keep saying, well, Black America was rooting for murder. They were okay. Nah. It wasn't about Black America rooting for a murderer. We were just tired, things happening to us, folks not being held accountable. So we were like, all right, cool. Like, we want him not to be, like you said, if he did do it, in our minds, we were like, nah, we want this system, the injustice system, to work in our favor for once. And that's what it really was. A lot of people thought it was just, it wasn't about us, promoting, advocating or agreeing with murder or supporting murder. It was just Black folks were tired, Baba. We saw that beating of Rodney King. And remember when the video came out, people see them, the officers, like, it was crazy. And yes. So I think Black folks at that point, we were tired, and we just wanted to see the injustice system work in our favor for once. And that's what it really was about. But Baba, let's walk back in time to the climate.
Yeah.
During the O.J. Simpson case, the racial tensions in America were strong, Baba. I mean, you had people, co-workers arguing with each other, teachers at school, upset with their students because they're students. I remember even Mark Lamont Hill said that when him and his friends were dancing once OJ got off, the white teachers were upset, So you saw all of this happening, in 94 and 95, a lot of that, you saw that. Some of us were cheering them on. And, and then while others, and I'm talking about the white folks wanted, accountability. They wanted justice, what were, you said that you were one of the Black folks who you were cheering. What else did you observe, Baba? I'm talking about regarding the racial tensions, right?
Right.
What else did you see?
I was a young man at that time, a fiery young militant at that time, about 22 years old. And again, we were fresh off Rodney King. Everybody was blasting Ice Cube, death certificate and all that in our cars. So the climate was already tense. And one of the things that I noticed as a young soldier was just how sensationalized the whole thing was. You know what I'm saying? And it was must see TV. One thing that the Rodney King case did for corporate America, and networks like CNN, Court TV, their ratings went through the roof with these trials.
It sure
So
did.
we were going through a time where the trial became must see TV. And so the whole sensationalization of it, and we were calling it a distraction. Those of us who were activists, we was calling it a distraction. You know what I'm saying? We was clowning OJ because OJ said, I'm not black. I'm OJ. But shoot, them laws got on his butt. Next thing you know, he was in church on Sunday, and remembering what his grandmama used to say and all that kind of stuff, right? And so we were teaching and pointing out that dichotomy, like, look, he been their favorite for years. Now that something has happened, that they coming after him and they reminding him, no, you not OJ, you black. You know what I'm saying? And so that whole climate was going on. And yeah, you had that feeling as a black person, like, no, man, we don't want him. If he didn't do it, we definitely don't want him to go down. And and it wasn't even about if he couldn't do it or did do it. If he gets a good defense, even some of us were even saying rich people get off all the time. Let's see if a rich black person can get off.
Right, they do.
So when the rich black person got off, like, oh, look at that. Right. I'm still of the belief that a black man can't kill a black woman in the United States. And there'd be one shred of physical evidence and you get found not guilty. I don't believe that, but when he got off and black people were celebrating that sort of thing, for those of us in the movement, it was a superficial celebration in a sense, because we just want to feel validated, because we feel so powerless to get real validation, because just the year you had Rodney King in 92, but in 93, you had that crime bill. And not everybody was paying attention to the new crime bill that Biden, the current president, wrote, that just passed, that increased our prison population by hundreds of percent, right? So you have mass incarceration at your doorstep. Then you get the OJ case. White folks were so mad after the OJ case. Boy, I tell you what, they was locking black folks up left and right. During that time. So right after 94, from 94 to the end of the 90s, you know what I'm saying? It was hell in the black community.
Absolutely. And I think and I had to walk my students back that, because I was telling them, I said, I don't think, a lot of my students are born in 2001, 2002, you know what I mean? Like they're born, early 2000s. And so a lot of them, I told them, y'all can't even imagine what the climate was like, because you weren't born. And I was thinking of when I said that to them, I said, oh my goodness, I'm sounding like my mother and my grandmother and them, because I was telling them they can't get that understanding from watching clips on YouTube and TikTok, right? Because they're running to these platforms and they're looking at the videos. But I said, y'all can't even fathom what the racial tension was like, in America, and what was actually happening with Black America at this particular time.
Right.
And Baba, going back to what you said, when you talked about CNN and how their ratings, a lot of these TV networks ratings shot through the roof, even after the trial, I was telling my students, I said, you all heard of Kim Kardashian, right? And everybody's like, yeah. I said, her father was one of the lawyers. Mm-hmm. That's what that was their rise to prominence.
Yes, that's it.
It wasn't Kim with the Ray J tape. I know that's what y'all think, that it was Kim. She did the tape with Ray J and her career just took off. But I said that their rise to prominence was the O.J. Simpson trial.
Yes.
Because her father was one of the lead attorneys on the case. Johnny Cochran, he took off. They said a lot of them were offered TV shows. They were paid thousands, book deals. They were offered thousands of dollars for speaking engagements. So a lot of people came up off of the O.J. Simpson trial. Wanted to say that. And I want to say one more thing and I'll land my plane. O.J. did get his rude awakening, as you said, Baba. Remember that Jay-Z line, I'm not black, I'm okay, I'm O.J. And then Jay-Z said, okay. But he got his black wake-up call, because I do agree with Mark Lamont's analysis when he talked about how once OJ entered the white world, he thought that he transcended race. He thought he was no longer black. It was no connection between, him and his people. He transcended race. He was OJ. He wasn't black. And so he got into the white world, and look what happened, Baba. He married a white woman, because remember, he started off, he was married to a sister.
Yeah.
Had 2 beautiful black babies with the sister. He got in the white world, and I'm not, I don't know what happened in their marriage. I never researched it, but I did know that he divorced her, got with Nicole, and I believe he had 2 or 3 babies by Nicole, right? And you see how his life ended up. You see what I'm saying? But he went in that white world. They said he had sponsorships. People don't even know, Baba, that OJ, that he was the man. America loved O.J. Simpson before what happened on June the 12th, 1994. I was telling everybody he was the it guy. He did well in college football. He entered the NFL. He did well. I said he was the first, athlete to have sponsorships. One of the first black athletes to have sponsorships. He was that person. He was in movies. I remember seeing him in Airplane and Naked Gun, those movies in the 80s and early 90s. I remember that, Baba. So he was the man. Look what happened, Baba. Look what happened, Baba. He thought he made it, Baba. He thought he made it. He got his white woman. He got his mixed children. He's not black. He got his money. He has millions.
Yeah.
And then look what happened.
Yeah.
June 12th, 1994. His fall from grace, Baba.
Quick.
Come on, talk about it, Baba.
Very quick, and I grew up, I was born in the early 70s, and so he was my first sports hero was 2 people, O.J. Simpson and Tony Dorsett from the Dallas Cowboys. And I remember, but O.J. was next level. He was on the Hertz commercial, running through the airport, jumping over cars and all that. They called him Orange Juice. They called him O.J., the Juice. One of the first running backs to have a 2,000-yard season, and so an incredible athlete. But the first example of a post-civil rights movement America with this corporate integration mentality, where they figured that, what, these black athletes and black celebrities, they can sell product, and we don't want them selling their products. We can pay them more to have them sell what? Our products. So while you're watching this athlete selling these white products, what do you think's happening to black-owned businesses during this time? We all trying to move on up and move on out like the Jeffersons. So OJ was one of those first celebrities that represented, I got out, you can get out too. You know what I'm saying? And so they loved him. He was great at it. He was a great promoter of that type of lifestyle. And people got to realize too, the 70s, that was cocaine. When it came to that's back when cocaine was considered a good drug.
Yeah, it's like drinking. It was like drinking.
It was a social drug. He was in that era. He was in the 80s with crack and cocaine. Well, rich people were smoking crack too. It's just when you got money, you can't see a rich addict because they got enough to stay high. Remember Richard Pryor burnt himself up, freebase and all that. So OJ was in that class of black superstars that were getting caught up in the rich white world, right? And when you in that world, you get a sense of invincibility. You think you made it because you exhibiting bad behavior and getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? But they give it and they take it away. And I'm a firm believer that when something like that, like what happened to OJ, he was also the example of what we'll do to you if you run south on us. What we'll do to you when we're done with you, right? And I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent, but circumstances can be created, right? Circumstances can be created where you're about to take the fall for this, and you can't say nothing because if you do what I did to them, I can do to other people that you love.
That's right.
And when you're dealing in the world of dope, like cocaine and other things and whatever, we don't know who these people owe money to. We don't know who these people were dealing with. We have no idea. We can't even fathom that, some of us in our experience, because all we see is the fairy tale that they put on TV. But we don't know what Nicole Brown Simpson was into or Ronald Goldman was into, right? And so it's just a perfect storm. It comes together. He doesn't really take the fall. He's found innocent, but he's punished for it for the rest of his life. They finally get to put him in the penitentiary for 6 years for going back to take back stuff that was stolen from him. He went to prison
I
for
saw
that.
that, Baba. I
They
saw
got him
that.
with the civil suit where he was found responsible for the deaths and owed 36 million. You know what I'm saying? And so he was punished and demonized. But a lot of us, we just start calling him guilty because we're scared to say he's not. And we stop, you got people like in the sports world right now, Stephen A. and them, they avoiding, God gonna deal with him, and they better not say I don't think OJ was. You better not say you don't think OJ was guilty. You know what I'm saying? And if people say something long enough, it just becomes true. Nothing new came out to prove that OJ did it. It just got said so much that it's just like, oh, it must be true.
Yeah, and then Baba, I mean, the evidence didn't prove beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt. It didn't that man did it. It didn't. And Johnny Cochran they did a marvelous job. They pointed out the white racist cop. They talked about the possibility of planting evidence because they saying the glove didn't even fit the one that they found. It couldn't even get over O.J. Simpson's palm. They also brought out the fact, and see, Martin Lamar Hill, he had some things. Well, I know he did it, and the evidence said it. No, it didn't, Mark. The evidence didn't say it. The glove didn't fit. They also found defensive wounds on Ron's knuckles and stuff like this. They strip searched OJ the day after. There were no bruises or cuts on him. So if I'm fighting you, Bob, and you and I in a fight, and I lose, and I got the fence marks, scratches and cuts all on my hands, and somebody, they strip search you, you're butt naked, and they examine your whole body, and they can't find a bruise on you, they can't find a cut, they can't find anything. Is it reasonable to think that we actually got into a scuffle? No, it's not. So they didn't prove their case. They didn't prove their case, Baba. Bottom line. The law
simply says reasonable doubt.
Right. It says reasonable doubt.
If I present reasonable doubt of my guilt, you got to let me go. So Cochran and them just said, hey, we're presenting reasonable doubt, not even trying to prove your innocence. We're just trying to establish reasonable doubt. And that's what happened, and it's not like OJ was seen as a black celebrity by then. By then we didn't, he wasn't in black movies. He was in Police Academy and stuff like Airplane and stuff like that. Yeah, Naked Gun. Yeah, and stuff like that. So he wasn't even ours at the time. But when when it jumped off, Mama Africa always pull you. We're so forgiving. We're forgiving and loving people. It's like, we just love to see us successful, even if you're successful and you're not investing in the black community, you're not doing anything. We just love to see you successful. And we always accept our people. And wasn't he fortunate that after all of that, because he said he wasn't black, he was OJ, and he was non-political because he was getting those endorsements. And just how fortunate was he that when the heat was on and nobody believed him, the black community embraced him.
Absolutely. And I see Jimmy Rucker said Latasha Harlins. Yep. Yeah. She was killed by the Korean woman in the store. And it said the OJ trial exposed those liberal white supremacists. He's right. Jimmy Rucker oh my God, Jimmy Rucker been going in, but he's right. I forgot about that. Latasha Harlins. So you had, like you said, you had the Rodney King beating. You had Latasha Harlins. You had the O.J. Simpson, trial. Then, like you said, the 1994 crime bill. Like, come on. A lot of this stuff was going on in the early 90s that a lot of people, don't, a lot of these young folks, Gen Z, they don't know. They didn't experience it, and no one's teaching it to them. Go ahead, Baba. You want to say something?
Yeah, and I was saying that was also the time where black folks were saying it's one in every family, and we wasn't talking about inventors. We was talking about drug addicts. We were saying everybody saying we got one crack fiend in every family. Our communities were being ravaged by dope. We was dealing with gang banging. That's why we was calling it a distraction where I was at, because we was busy trying to get Crips and Bloods from killing each other. We was trying to draw attention to other things while that was going on. A lot of times when these sensationalized events happen, they draw attention away from things that we should be paying attention to, and so it served that purpose, So as an activist during that time, I saw it as a big distraction. Yeah, I was keeping up with it, but I'm like, man, but why don't y'all see what's going on right here? We're losing young people every day. We talk about investing in our youth now. People don't remember the early and mid 90s, when we were dealing with it, the drive-bys and the innocent bystanders being killed. In hip hop, the media was sensationalizing East Coast versus West Coast. That kind of came out of that after all the OJ, when its beef sensationalism got real, that blueprint, the media picked up that blueprint in the mid 90s, and it was Tupac versus Biggie, East Coast versus West Coast, right? And so this whole blueprint for the monetization of beef and the monetization of real life drama really was born then, because the OJ trial was truly one of the first reality shows.
Yeah, that's what someone said on the internet, and I agree. It was the first reality
that was
TV
the
show.
blueprint for quote unquote reality TV, from the car chase to the trial. Because I remember looking at the car chase back then, I'm like, they're not chasing him. He's not going 100 miles per hour. Why is the highway clear? This looked like they were prepared. It was 50 cars behind him in formation.
Hold on, Baba. Let me show it, Baba.
Yeah, show it. This looks like a chorus line. This don't look like this looks like choreography to me. Even then, I'm like, well, they're not chasing him. He's escorting them to the police station. Because he went to the police, he wasn't running. They didn't pull him over in the middle of the highway and handcuff him. They let him go where he was going. I think where he go home or somewhere. I forgot where he went, but they let him get where he was going. It was a whole thing, like they strung it out for TV. And so I'm like, that's the most car chase I've ever seen. All 50 of them cars, can't nobody pass that Bronco and get in front of it.
Baba, that's what you talk about.
Yeah.
Look at it, Baba.
Yeah. Police chase, right?
Baba, look, Baba, look. Look, Baba.
So that Bronco is faster than all of them. That Bronco faster than all four. And look how they in formation. That's just, that Bronco just faster than all them cars. But look, can't nobody pass nobody. It's just, where the rest of the cars at?
Oh my gosh, Baba.
So it was the most non-police chase. Is OJ even in the truck? That's what I want to know. Was OJ even in the truck? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I see Rob say the reality show was Real World. Yeah, in 1992. Yeah, it was one of the first reality shows, but the blueprint for reality shows, I think, really came off of court TV. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, that was something else. It was must-see TV. And now that we look back on it, though, I'm like, man, there's something really coordinated looking about that. You know what I'm saying? So they've milked it for what it's worth. I saw where Bruce Jenner, I think he's Caitlyn now.
Yeah, he's Caitlyn now.
I saw where Caitlyn, he was like, good riddance. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, you built your whole second career off of that, because you lived off the Kardashians.
Did he?
Yeah, you can't get mad at OJ because old girl emasculated you to the point to where you thought you was one. You thought you was a woman that did the whole switch up, and it was rumors that OJ hung out with her too. You know what I'm saying? And so I know Caitlyn's mad at him, and it's just, but that's, again, he knows that if I say good riddance, that's not coming from the heart. This is going to put me in a news cycle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is going to put me in a news cycle. So his death created a news cycle. So everybody, all your YouTubers, you jump on. I mean, we're discussing it, but we're discussing it to pull some lessons from it. But it's what it is now. Information is currency. Stories are currency. And so OJ's story has been currency since 1994. Anything OJ did made somebody some money.
Oh, absolutely, Baba. And I just got to show my man right here. Rest in peace to the great Johnny Cochran. This is what he said. The famous, this is what I was talking about earlier. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. Here we go.
Last night about this case and their theory and how it didn't make any sense and how it didn't fit and how something is wrong. It occurred to me how they were going to come here and stand up here and tell you how O.J. Simpson was going to disguise himself was going to put on a knit cap and some dark clothes, and he was going to get in his white Bronco and this recognizable person and go over and kill his wife. That's what they want you to believe. That's how silly their argument is. And I said to myself, maybe I can demonstrate this graphically. Let me show you something. This is a knit cap. I'm going to put this knit cap on. You've been seeing me for a year. If I put this knit cap on, who am I? I'm still Johnny Cochran with a knit cap. And if you look at O.J. Simpson over there, and he has a rather large head, O.J. Simpson in a knit cap from 2 blocks away is still O.J. Simpson. It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Reminded me that
first time rap lyrics got a black man off for murder.
You know, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Ashe, man. Ashe. And someone said in the chat, Stan said Dr. Lamont is dangerous. He poses as a black advocate, but he rug pulls us all the time. Yeah, I remember when Dr. Francis Cress Welsing passed, and by all means, I'm not comparing Dr. Francis Cress Welsing to O.J. Simpson, not at all. But I've seen, you know, I remember when she passed, you know, he went online and called her homophobic, and you know, he said some things out of his mouth, and you know, the brothers pulled him up. Shout out to Professor James Small, who intervened, because he had the audacity to go in on Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and then thought it was cool to show up to a pro-black, a black nationalist, Pan-Africanist event, you know, where we hold her in high regard. So, you know, let me see if I could find that. So, you know, yeah, so Professor James Small, hold on, family. I'm gonna look for it real quick. Mark Lamont Hill confronted. Look at this, family. Yeah, he got confronted. Hold on, about his Dr. Francis Cress Welsing comments. Yep, here it is. Mark Lamont Hill confronted by the streets over his disrespect of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Hold on, y'all. Let me find a timestamp real quick. So the brothers pulled him up. Hold on. So Vicky Dillard, you know, she brought it out. She started talking about it. Hold on. Right. Yeah, she talked about it. Here it is.
Yeah. And I always wonder why somebody who already has an established platform, why you got to take time out to do that. You know, why do you have to introduce Dr. Francis Cress Welsing to a lot of people who may not even know who she was through that type of a conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Sister Vicky Dillard. Here she go.
News. He didn't have none of that kind of energy when white society threw him all the way away. So thank God black folks are confronting him for his duplicity in person. Listen to a little bit of this clip.
What am I not saying? You're dominant. Close the mics down. Okay, sorry, Papa. We just talk. I love it, bro. We talking about the same.
How to regulate.
Like, I don't know, because I'm here. I don't know what y'all see. I'm here. We talking about work. I'm here.
I ain't questioning your integrity, brother.
You are questioning my integrity when you say that I'm catering to white liberals.
I wouldn't be talking to you if I didn't think you have integrity. I don't get money for this.
Saying,
I like you.
So again, what white liberal ideology am I playing to? What am I doing? You see this? I got 5% for standing up for us. I got 5 Fox.
Go down and listen to the elder, y'all.
Right.
So I don't even know what we're talking about.
I can give you plenty of
the elder speak.
Yeah, that's elder speaking. Elder speaking for the house.
Yes, sir. I got you.
This is where it's
There's a point where if you were out of line with your brother, you owe him an apology. See, there's a limit. When we're going to have a discussion, especially in front of the camera, we have to show respect even if we disagree. And if you don't show respect, I may not agree with everything he writes, but if he half of the shit I say, he may not agree with it. And we have to be able to ask questions of one another, disagree with one another, and not get engaged in disrespecting one another. Because it leads to conflict when we should be having conflict with somebody else. That's right. You know? This is a young brother.
I apologize, brother. It just, I got the spirit of Malcolm. I was at his grave yesterday. I got this a lot. But I still,
Okay, but let me just add a little one thing to this. You know, the black community is one of the most complex institutions in America. This is the fourth largest black population in the world. It is the most sophisticated. It is the wealthiest. It's the highly educated. Yet it is the most marginalized in terms of the overall system. Yet we are in a power position from any other black community in the world, even those that are nations. So we take our complexity like it's so simple. It's not that simple. It's very complex. And so even when we disagree, the only point I make, disagree with respect.
That's fair. That's fair. And I apologize if I turned up too fast. What it is for me is, because 99% of this stuff, I get love in the world. It's on Twitter and social media. I hear this wild shit. Excuse my language, sister. This wild stuff, and I'm not saying you at this point, but I'm just saying. A lot of times, I'm like, I'm in the places that people say I'm not, and I don't see them. So
I have to ask you, because if I didn't mention it, they would kill me. The Dr. Francis Wilson thing.
Yeah.
Because you do it good, my brother. Let's just clear that up and get it. I want your understanding, because what's not fair is the fact that we get one side of the story and we don't get to hear from you to articulate where you stand on that.
So to be clear, what happened was on the day, first of all, on the day that Francis Cress Wilson passed, I posted a memorial to her.
Right.
It was all love.
Right.
She was generous to me. One of
you ever worked together?
We didn't work together, but I knew her.
Right.
And we disagreed at times.
Right.
And she was my elder, so I listened to our Queen Mother, respected it even if we disagreed.
No problem.
I gave a testimony to what she meant to me as a young person seeking knowledge, as a bookstore owner, as a bookstore seeker, and what the ISIS papers meant to me. Another brother wrote a critique of her, saying that there were things in the ISIS papers that for him did harm as a black gay or black queer, I think he identifies as, man.
Right.
I posted on my Facebook page his critique and said his was more thorough and nuanced than mine. That might not be the exact quote, but I gave love to his post too.
Right.
So just the first thing is I criticized her as much as I gave space for another person.
It was a repost.
The repost. But I take accountability for it. I'm not saying that to pass the buck. I'm just saying, but that was the context. Because urban legends get spread. Then it become he went up on the podium and was talking about, and that's not what happened.
I read that, but it went down.
Can I just want to finish the thought just so people understand my whole position on this. Nothing that the critique that I had of homophobia and all these things are things that I've expressed to our Queen Mother when she was living.
Right.
So that's the other thing. It wasn't like I waited until she died to attack her or critique her. I have a critique.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I could do it again, I would not have done it on that day.
Right.
And for that, I'm deeply sorry and deeply apologetic. And I've always said that. I take responsibility for that. I hold on to my critique, but I should have given us space to breathe, to mourn, to celebrate, to process because of what she meant. Now, I don't do that with these white folk. Donald Rumsfeld died. My headline was war criminal dies. Reagan died. I didn't give them the 12 hours. I went straight at it. So my principle is to be honest in death as we are in life, but she's ours.
Okay, did you see that? Okay, did you hear that? Now, Mark.
All right, so that she's gonna, Vicky gonna go in.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. So I wasn't surprised when he went at OJ yesterday. He's not a martyr. Y'all black people gonna make him out to be a martyr. He was a murderer, not a martyr. And he just started talking about all. He lied. He was abusive. He was anti-black. And I mean, I know that he was definitely anti-black, but I can't say that he was a liar and a murderer. I guess I don't have proof of that type of stuff. So Mark Lamont Hill, and I put this under his video. I said, Mark, I usually agree with your positions. I said, but not in this video. I said, you contradicted yourself because at the beginning of the video, Mark said, well, his family announced that he was dead on his Twitter page, and they asked for privacy and grace. And he was like, and I agree that they should be given privacy and grace. He started with that. Then right after he said that, and family, you can go check out the video, Right after he said that, 2 minutes later, Baba, he was like, yeah, they don't deserve no grace. He don't deserve grace because he started with it. I said, wait a minute now. He kind of, you contradicted yourself. Then you started saying he's a liar and he's a murderer. Well, where's your evidence, right? Because we can't just be online spewing these opinions, Baba, and saying he's this, he's that, without giving the people evidence. Show where he lied. Show us that. Show us where he murdered. Show us that he was an abuser. Show us the evidence, because he got acquitted. He got acquitted by a 12-man jury. So now you come online talking about, yeah, he did it, and I know he did it, but show us the evidence. You know what I mean? And so I did put on this video. I said, Mark, I'm going to rebut you later on, because you contradicted yourself, and then you're spewing a lot of things without evidence. And that was my problem. So I wasn't surprised when he went after OJ Simpson, because he did the same thing with Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. And then he'll say, well, no, I apologize. I shouldn't have did that. But then you get another opportunity, you turn around and you do the same thing. You understand what I'm saying, Baba? Yes. And so anyway, what were your thoughts on what you witnessed in the video?
First, I want to say that I believe that Brother Mark Lamont Hill is brilliant. He does speak up and say things that a lot of Black people are afraid to say. He does put himself in spaces that it takes bravery to sit in front of Jewish media and speak up for Palestine. It takes bravery to criticize Jewish people or the Jewish oligarch as he does. So I'm not going to take that away from him. And I think one thing we got to stop doing is when we have an opposing opinion, like Baba Smile says, let's not judge the whole person, especially someone you don't know. Like, I'm not going to call him a clown or anything like that. I think that he is a person who makes a living from opinions, and that sometimes it's hard to judge when I should express it and how I should express it, especially when it's a hot topic. And I think he was probably telling himself when he started that broadcast, I haven't seen, I got to go check it out. You know what? I'm going to be civil. I'm going to be cool about it. I'm going to let him know the family does deserve grace. But then he got into it. Next thing, I take it back. They don't deserve no grace. Maybe he got triggered by a comment. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But again, the necessity to do that. I don't think that Black people really are making OJ Simpson a martyr, more so than what people have made a martyr was him getting off and still rubbing it in white people's face, like, ha ha ha, we got one. And I think that's more of what it is than anything else. No one's confused. No one thinks that OJ Simpson was a Black power activist or someone who fought for Black rights or anything like that. Of course, he wasn't a perfect man, but guess what? Dr. King wasn't a perfect man. But his work, you have to respect his work. Malcolm wasn't perfect. None of them, the Most High Muhammad wasn't perfect. We're not perfect people. And Mark Lamont, one day you're going to transition and your work is going to be there, but your dirt may be there too. And I pray that people give you a balanced eulogy, and actually respects your family's right to grieve. I don't think it's our job to pile on while his children, grandchildren are maybe looking at social media and that sort of thing. So I don't think it's really our job of to pile on like that. And so I think brother maybe just got a little hype in the subject and just went in and went forward. Those may be his honest opinions, and he's in the opinion business. And I guess he said, nah, this is gonna hurt my metrics if I say his family deserves grace. I need to go and get these views up, and went in.
Got you, Baba.
Went in and looked at the analytics. Somebody text him, say, man, analytics ain't popping. You need to put some hot sauce on there on this podcast. And he applied some hot sauce and went with the popular opinion. And I'm sure he got a lot of kudos from his European friends, especially saying, you know what, Mark, you just call it right down the middle, buddy. That's why I love you.
Now, look, and Baba, somebody named Rob Morrow, peace to you, brother. He said, not to change the subject, but Dr. Ma'at, Black Power Media wants to challenge you to a debate in response to your video about STEM research. Rob, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. If they honestly wanted to debate me, they have my telephone number. I wouldn't be hearing this from you in the chat. And I'm not being disrespectful when I say this. If they honestly, you see, we got to understand when people are just talking sugar, honey, iced tea, right? They want to challenge you to a debate. They probably said that on, Black Power Media channel. They may have said that. But if they really wanted to debate me, they have my telephone number. Geechee Yah has my telephone number. Dr. Jared Ball has my telephone number. And a matter of fact, Rob, before I responded to their comments about STEM, I text Dr. Ball and told him that I was going to respond. So you got to stop listening to YouTube, man. And they want to debate you. And if they wanted to debate me, they would call me on the telephone. They have my number, sir. So I just want to put that out there. Okay. We actually talk behind closed doors. So don't believe everything you hear and see on YouTube. Yeah, we're going to debate Dr. Whyt. People just talk. And you gotta know the difference between, showmanship, and what else, Baba? Showmanship. Give me another word, Baba. Showmanship and
what's real.
Yeah, and what's real.
And what's real, and just like Baba Small said in that clip, they're not, Black Power is not enemy of Dr. Whyt, and because there's a disagreement, and of course, there is an open dialogue ready to happen over it, but it's not a beef thing. It's definitely not something that the YouTube streets can jump in and throw stones at one side and say, yeah, such and such said you this. Yeah, no, it don't work like everybody know everybody, y'all. This ain't pro wrestling. We telling y'all who is who. Okay, we're not pretending. We're not, I know y'all think that Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant was really enemies when y'all was little, but they really good friends. You know what I'm saying? So we're not pretending like that.
Yeah, not at all.
No, it's all scholarship and it's all love, and iron sharpens iron.
Oh, someone said OJ was beating that mayonnaise girl on a regular. It says there are police reports and photos validating that abuse. Okay, that's cool. I can accept that.
Yeah,
I can accept that.
Yeah,
I can accept that if that was, if it's reports out there. I definitely could accept that.
Right. But we're not on here to exalt the character of OJ Simpson. That's not. I don't think that's what we're on here to do. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
No. I think we're just here to pull lessons from the situation, to go back to that situation and talk about how race relations were in America and other things that were going on in America at that time that created an atmosphere where OJ would be acquitted. Because there probably was a feeling too, man, if we find him guilty, we're going to have another ride. It was just 2 years after the first one, and they may have thought, it was people were saying, man, it's going to jump off again. Because Rodney King, the cops that beat Rodney King just got off, and they had a videotape. Okay, y'all, they had a videotape and got off.
Yeah.
So we all we need to see was the glove that didn't fit. That's all we need to see. Well, he better get off too, because y'all ain't got no tape and we got a glove that don't fit. With
Rodney, no murder weapon, right?
No work. You have no murder weapon.
No bloody clothes.
None of that, right? But with Rodney King, you had a whole videotape. So it was a powder keg ready to explode, and if I believe that weighed in on the jury's decision as well.
I agree. Love you too, Baba Kwame. He said, we love you, Dr. Whyt and Baba Amin. Y'all are doing the work. And speaking of the work, Baba, close us out with the UACI STEM program. Close us out with that, Baba.
Hey, y'all, like I said, it's all about the future. I love reminiscing about the past. And I've been through it, Dr. Whyt. I've been working with young people for over 30 years. So I remember what young people were going through in the 90s. I remember what we were going through in the early 2000s and the 2010s. Now we're in the 2020s. And guess what ain't going to stop? This movement. That's what's not going to stop. Guess what we're not going to stop doing? Providing powerful education opportunities for our youth. And so with that being said, I'm going to shout y'all out, let y'all know about the UACI Uhuru Academy Conscious Ingenuity Summer STEM Camp 2024. Jumping off this summer, we are enrolling right now. You go to uhuruacademy.com, go under the UA online tab, hit the UACI tab, and it'll take you right to this page, right? And as we scroll down, this year's camp is going to be from July 8th to July 19th. You're talking a half day each day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. And what they're going to get is something that they can't get anywhere else. They're going to learn about the African history of STEM, our historical legacy in science, technology, engineering, the arts, mathematics, mechanics, engineering, all of that, right? And they're going to actually learn hands-on, right, on how to engage in STEM activities. They're going to receive microbit computers and learn the basics of computer programming. I know last year we taught the foundation of artificial intelligence. This year, we're going to go even deeper into the more career development type exercises when it comes to STEM careers and engineering, and so they get the microbit computers. We send out Google Chromebooks, right, to make sure they have what they need. Of course, they're gonna get a fly t-shirt like the one Dr. Whyt is wearing today, right? But most importantly, we're plugging young people who are serious about STEM careers into pipelines that'll get them there. We want to identify passionate young Africans who want to go into a STEM field, a scientific field, a technology field, mathematical field, engineering, arts, right? And we want to get them, we want to mold them ideologically, then put them on a path that'll not only reinforce the ideology, but put them in position to be successful in that STEM career and to be an innovator in that career. So that's the long-term vision that we have for UACI. It's a summer STEM camp today. It'll be its own university tomorrow, but that's with your support, right? So go on, let's get you don't have children, sign up your nephew, sign up your niece, sign up your little cousin. As long as they in between, we'll take them 7, if they can go to the bathroom by themselves and do their thing. We'll take them from 7 all the way to 16 years old, and they've never had an experience like this. If you like my energy, imagine your child getting this type of energy every single day. If you like Dr. Whyt's energy, imagine your child having access to Dr. Whyt, who molds engineers for a living. This is her side hustle. Okay, this is what she do. This is her passion right here, getting the information out to the people. But when she get up in the morning, she goes to Morgan State University and she trains young engineers on how to be better engineers and engineers for us, for our community globally, right? And so our job is to create more of us, and the UACI Summer STEM Camp is our tool for that. So yeah, y'all head over to the website, sign your children up. We're only doing 30 slots, okay? And we do that because we believe in quality over quantity. All right. So 30 slots. We do that because we want our students to get the attention they need and build the relationships that they need to build in order to be successful. 30 slots. A couple of them are already taken up. I haven't followed up on some phone calls. All right. So as soon as I get away from this this conference that I'm at, I'm making some calls. So the next time I talk about it, it's going to be slots gone. Right. So invest. The best investment you can make. I love Bitcoin. I do. And somebody called me today, told me to buy some acres in Africa. I sure appreciate that. But you know what I would rather invest in? A black youth. A black child. There's no investment like an investment in your future. And there's nothing closer to you, nothing more directly related to your future right now in your life than black children, period. So if you have an opportunity to make an investment in the future, that's not going to necessarily pay you back dollars, but it's going to pay you back safety. It's going to pay you back in prestige. It's going to pay you back, in pride. It's going to pay you back in so many ways. Hell, it might be your daughter's husband. I don't know. You don't know who you might be invested in. But if you want better, you got to invest better. And the UACI STEM Camp is one of those investments. What more do we have to do? What more do we have to say? Go sign up. You can do everything on one web page. You can scroll down, learn about the program, apply for the program, pay for the program, and you in the circle. You in the village. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's rush hour now. Fire! Let's get it.
Bobby, you said, I don't know what you're waiting for.
I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what you're waiting for. Some of y'all still at work and sneak watching. Go on and sign up on UACI. You've been sneak watching for a whole hour, ain't did no work. You know what I'm saying? Go on, sign your baby up for UACI so you feel like you got even more. You learned something today, you enjoyed the broadcast, and you invested in your baby's future all in one time, and you did it on they dime. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Absolutely. And Baba, tell them the age, because someone in the chat said, well, how old? What are the ages? What are the ages?
Right. So we prefer 8 to 16, but if you got a mature 7-year-old, you know what I'm saying, that can handle it, that you know, and you can be there, somebody kind of be there with them, will go as young as 7, but we prefer anywhere between 8 and 16. That's that ideal group that we want to work with. And then as we grow the program, our elementary age students will have their own camp, our junior high school have their own camp as we grow it. But right now with this camp, the way we have it, it works great for ages 8 to 16.
All right, beautiful, Baba, beautiful. And family, I will be live again on Sunday. All right, I'm going live with Brother Ankh to talk about the paper, Baba, we published with the National Society for Black Engineers. It's called the Best Black Excellence in Science and Technology Journal. Matter of fact, it's the first journal that was created by the National Society of Black Engineers. So Brother Ankh and I'll go live on Sunday, family. So be on the lookout for the notification, probably Sunday morning, Sunday early afternoon from me to talk about that paper. Also, I do want to, I forgot the name of the brother who made the comment when you talked about a debate. There's no debate when it comes to whether or not we should support STEM education. We're living in the age of technology, the digital age, the age of information. And so there's no debate that we need to be or we should be participants in science, technology, engineering. I always say art, agriculture, and mathematics, right? So to me, anybody who's professing to be pro-Black, if you're not talking about STEAM education with that AA, STEAM education, then don't come to me with your pro-Black doctrine, because it's not going to work. You know, we're not in the Stone Ages anymore. It's satellites orbiting our heads right now. I mean, all sorts of stuff. They got rockets going to Mars. Like I don't want to hear the rhetoric if we're not talking about science, technology, engineering, art, agriculture, and mathematics. So there's no debate that we should be promoting that type of education. Now, this is what I will say to you, and I'll expound on this on Sunday. What they were talking about was Eurocentric STEM education. Eurocentric STEM education. Eurocentric STEM education is missing ideology that will encourage and give Black people the tools to take the STEM knowledge acquired to solve problems in their community and to advance our community. I agree with that position. And I don't care if you all send them this clip. That's what they were talking about, but they didn't frame what they were saying correctly. Yes, Eurocentric STEM education is an issue, and it does lack an ideology that does not permit us to build for ourselves. No one's refuting that, but understand it's a difference between Eurocentric STEM education and African-centered STEM education. They mentioned not having history and philosophical concepts in STEM education. Well, that's Eurocentric STEM education. Bob, Amin, and I are over here talking about African-centered STEM education, and there's a big difference. Be on the lookout for the publication that Baba, Amin, and I will be dropping. We will know for sure on April the 15th, but once they make it available, we will send you all a link. You download it, and so you can understand the difference between Eurocentric STEM education and African-centered STEM education. Baba, do you have any closing words for the listening audience?
Well, Asante Sana, thank you very much. I want to shout out Joe L. Armstrong. We called him on break at work, Dr. Maya. He said I called him out. I got he listened to us on break, man. Thank you, brother, for taking time out. I hope we made your break worth it at work. Who gets an hour break, though? We've been on for an hour, so some of that wasn't break, Joel. But anyway, that's your business. But shout out to everybody, man. Let's promote STEM. Let's invest in our young people. I want to give a special shout out to my sister, Kamaria Jamu, here at Yale University. We're here at the 3rd annual Disability and Accessibility Conference here at Yale. She's a joint doctorate candidate here at Yale, and just achieved a joint master's degree this year, and we're closing in on that master's the next couple of years. But she put on this conference for 3 years in a row. Myself and Mom and Co, you had the opportunity to be on panels this year. This sister's doing a great job. So I want to shout her out. Want to shout out my team at the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Festival coming June 15th at Dutch Square Mall in Columbia, South Carolina. Definitely want to shout them out as well, doing great work. Shout out to UASC International, the Uhuru Academy, all of our children, all of our parents. Looked like I was freezing a little bit, but I hope the audio came through because I definitely wanted to show love to the family. Support the Uhuru Academy. You can hit the Cash App at $ Uhuru Academy, or go to uhuruacademy.com and learn how to become a monthly donor as well. We also have sponsorship packages for Black-owned businesses. So, hey, y'all, movements move. All right. And if you want to invest in something worthy of your investment, look no further than Conscious Ingenuity. Look no further than the Uhuru Academy. I make no qualms about asking Black people for money. We ain't poor. We just spend our money poorly. We need to teach our dollars some sense. You know what I'm saying? And so definitely invest in African-centered, empowerment-based, STEM-based education. And I'll land my plane right there.
All right, Baba. Let me see. Some of them can't. And click the link. Some people are saying they trying to click it and don't see it. All you gotta do is Google it, family. Google it. Use Google. Right. Use Google. All right, Baba. You said it all. So I have nothing else to say. But peace. Look at it. I ain't got nothing else to say, Baba. You said it all. So I ain't got nothing to say. You heard them, family. Just follow suit. We're providing solutions. Support the work. Support the solutions. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace and Black power.
Let's combat and fight back with maltracks. The war of the minds, they want control of the masses. And Common Core, they dumb us down in the classes. Without knowledge, we can't gain access. Build with the elders, take notes and write classics. We keep whining on the block, how it's gonna stop? Let's start supporting our own, make their supply drop. We buy stocks, then we buy blocks. Cause we know the truth and we tuned in to Dr. Maya.